Why do some of the most successful Indians leave high-paying jobs abroad to return home? In this video, I'll share 3 uncommon reasons. A return to spiritual roots. India's fabric is essentially spiritual, and I'm not talking about any religion. When I say spiritual, I'm talking about people in pursuit of a deeper meaning of life. Initially, Indians go abroad chasing dreams. But once a desirable level of financial stability is achieved, their aspirations shift from money to meaning. And meaning for most Indian feels very different if they have been born in India and have spent most of their formative years here. India has color and a background score. People could be praying to different gods in the same household. The general lifestyle of people includes puja, rituals, fasting, and these could change even from one part of the city to another. People donate food, money, or whatever they can frequently to support others because of the economic disparity in the country. Festivals and languages change across states. When you're abroad, you experience a craving to speak your language if you don't use it often. For me, when I was in England, Hindi meditations hit differently. I still love them. Daily life in India is also filled with small human interactions. People chat warmly with vendors, shopkeepers, and I feel that in spite of all the chaos, people are not always in a rush. Once my uncle was walking on a street and he broke his shoe and he found a cobbler within walking distance. After his shoe was mended, he asked the cobbler, "Kitne paise hue?" And the cobbler replied, "Kuch nahi, bas duaon mein yaad rakhna." Blessings are so important. India is more vocal and visually transparent about seeking and giving blessings. Of course, people abroad also live a life of meaning, but everyone defines and feels meaning differently. This kind of cultural vigor and spiritual talk is not common abroad unless you are actively part of such circles, which may seem like a cult or a sect, because that's not the culture of that country. India, however, has a more tangible spiritual vibe, and many Indians attach a deeper meaning to what they grew up with in their early life. When that environment is taken away, it eventually leaves you feeling like a fish out of water. This is why Indians experience a deep spiritual calling to return, to visit and live around spiritually significant places, whether mountains, temples, mosques, or other sites of worship. So later in life, for many Indians, India with its chaos, social fabric, family systems, and spiritual grounding feels much more aligned with the stage of life they are in. And that is often why, after years abroad, they come back home. The search for meaning beyond money. After a while, when one gets the drill of how the work-life structure looks and feels like abroad, and they have changed jobs a few times and they earn well, there is a plateau. Money and recognition at work don't give the satisfaction they once did. It depends on personality type as well, but some people reach a limit where they just cannot work in subordination anymore. They want to break free and feel that they are meant for greater things. For many, the answer lies in going back, because part of their purpose is in serving their homeland. They feel deeply attached to the soil of their country. And they want to make India a better place in whatever capacity they can. That becomes their oxytocin quota. It's easier to take risks in your own country, and depending on the family they come from, their work life abroad may not always be the definition of success in India. So for example, a senior tech lead may be celebrated more in the US, but in India, far less. Here you are valued more for starting a mid-sized business that generates revenue, not loss-making. So recognition takes on a different meaning at home. I'll be honest though, after living abroad and being used to the paycheck and strong infrastructure of the West, one has to be a pretty strong personality to take this leap. It's one thing to have the desire and a completely different thing to willingly enter this territory with the mindset of holding yourself fully responsible if you fail. But for those who do, the reward isn't just success, it's the fulfillment of purpose, recognition, and the freedom to shape a life aligned with your values. The next generation identity struggle. Parents of millennials, and I'm assuming that most Gen Zs don't have kids yet, worry about their children growing up culturally detached from India. This shows up as language loss, shifting values, weaker ties with cousins, and at some level, a loss of frequent family rituals that are specific to each home and passed down through generations. There are also different habits that may alienate children from their own parents, and a loss of emotional connection from their grandparents. These gaps naturally exist if you're abroad, and since both parents are usually working, it becomes easier for them to speak with the child in English for convenience, because when the child is outside of home abroad, they only speak in English. Talking about language, I had a French boss several years ago when I was working in Ireland, and he was married to an Irish lady. I remember on a particular train journey back from a client visit, he was telling a colleague and myself that since the day his children were born, he refused to speak to them in English. He only spoke in French because he believed that if they didn't learn French in the initial few years, it would be much harder for them to learn it later on, which would mean that they would be distanced from his family back in France. I loved his resolve. I haven't seen many Indians abroad doing this with their kids. But there are Indians who are aware of these challenges and also the fact that they need help with their kids, just like any other parents. This long-term cultural erosion becomes a strong and practical motivator for many families to return home. In India, the environment naturally reinforces language, traditions, and family bonds, keeping the children rooted and parents supported. If your child loses their language, rituals, and family ties while growing up abroad, are they still carrying the same India you grew up with? If you like my reflections, go ahead, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and do share this video. Thank you for watching.